What happens when a city's homelessness crisis turns into a political fight? In Washington, D.C., the struggle over how to help the homeless goes beyond policy. It's about power, accountability, and the heart of America's capital. As the number of homeless people keeps climbing, arguments over the best solutions grow louder, with disagreements over federal involvement, local responsibility, and the deeper causes of homelessness. Behind the statistics and debates are real human lives, and the decisions made today will influence the city for years to come. So how did this situation develop, and what steps are being taken to genuinely improve the lives of those living in the shadows of the nation's government? The state of homelessness in D.C. As of January 2025, the annual point-in-time pit count in Washington, D.C. showed a notable 9% drop in homelessness compared to the previous year. This brought the total number of homeless people in the city down to 538. The decline is largely credited to focused investments in homelessness prevention and shelter expansion, reflecting the city's ongoing efforts to tackle this pressing issue. Key strategies included adding more shelter beds and offering intensive case management, helping people avoid living on the streets and move toward more stable housing options. In fiscal year 2024 alone, nearly 400 individuals were successfully kept from becoming homeless through prevention programs, while over 900 families and individuals were placed in permanent housing through government-funded vouchers. Another important milestone was the opening of the Aston, D.C.'s first shelter built specifically for single adults. This development addressed a previously underserved group and marked a meaningful step forward in the city's strategy to reduce homelessness. Despite these gains, challenges remain, especially regarding unsheltered homelessness. On any given night, the Community Partnership reports that roughly 800 people in D.C. are still living without shelter, often in tents, vehicles, or other temporary arrangements. These individuals are extremely vulnerable, facing serious risks like harsh weather violence and limited access to basic hygiene and medical care. Additionally, the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments noted a troubling 19% increase in unsheltered homelessness between 2024 and 2025, showing that the crisis is far from over. This rise among unsheltered residents highlights the ongoing struggles of the city's most marginalized populations and emphasizes the need for continuous attention and innovative solutions. As Washington, D.C. works to address homelessness, it must balance immediate relief with long-term systemic changes to truly support its most vulnerable residents. What do you see as the biggest factor driving the increase in homelessness in Washington, D.C., and how can we start tackling it effectively? Political developments and federal actions. In August 2025, President Donald Trump sparked controversy by announcing plans to move homeless individuals out of Washington, D.C. He justified the proposal by citing concerns about public safety and the appearance of the city, particularly in prominent areas near the Capitol. Trump promised to provide housing for those relocated far from the Capitol, raising serious legal and ethical questions about whether such a plan could actually be carried out and whether it would be morally acceptable. The White House has not yet explained the legal authority for this initiative, as the president's jurisdiction only covers federal land and properties within the city. Forcibly moving people has raised concerns about potential violations of DC residents' rights and whether adequate housing would even be available elsewhere. Is relocating homeless individuals truly a workable solution, or does it simply move the problem somewhere else without addressing why people are homeless in the first place? Critics have argued that this strategy treats homelessness as a visual nuisance rather than a deep social and economic challenge that demands long-term sustainable solutions. Local leaders led by Mayor Muriel Bowser quickly rejected the federal plan, stressing that Washington, D.C. is not experiencing a significant rise in crime, the main justification offered for the relocation. Bowser and other officials warned that the proposed actions could interfere with the city's self-governance, potentially overstepping the authority D.C. residents are granted. They also highlighted that the plan would do little to tackle the root causes of homelessness, including the lack of affordable housing and mental health services, and could instead make life harder for vulnerable populations. This announcement has fueled a larger debate over the balance between federal power and local control, especially on social issues like homelessness. Critics contend that the top-down approach promoted by the Trump administration may not deliver lasting solutions and could offer only temporary measures that fail to provide real meaningful support for those in need. Instead, it might only create temporary fixes that fail to provide real meaningful relief for those affected. Federal policies and local responses. The federal plan to relocate homeless individuals from Washington, D.C. has raised serious questions about how it could impact local communities. Experts warn that such actions might worsen rather than solve homelessness in the city. By interfering with existing support systems, federal intervention risks displacing vulnerable residents without offering adequate alternatives. Homeless individuals who depend on local services like shelters, food programs, and healthcare could lose access to critical resources, making it harder for them to regain stability and move toward self-sufficiency. Local nonprofits, including House of Ruth and So Others Might Eat, have voiced strong opposition to the federal proposal. These organizations play a key role in addressing homelessness, providing not only emergency shelter, but also long-term support such as job training, addiction recovery programs, and mental health services. They worry that federal interference could undermine their efforts, leading to greater hardship for the people they serve. Instead of receiving comprehensive, individualized care, homeless individuals could be pushed further to the margins, cut off from the networks that help them survive and thrive. Additionally, losing local control over homelessness policies presents a significant challenge. Washington, D.C. has developed strategies and programs specifically designed for its residents, recognizing that a one-size-fits-all approach often falls short. Federal mandates could limit the city's ability to address homelessness in a practical and compassionate way, making the crisis even harder to manage. Local authority is crucial for crafting solutions that respond to the realities faced by the homeless population. This situation raises a critical question: is federal intervention really the best way to tackle complex social issues that require adaptability and community involvement? How substance abuse affects homelessness. Substance abuse, especially the widespread use of opioids like fentanyl, plays a major role in the ongoing homelessness crisis in Washington, D.C. The National Institute on Drug Abuse has documented a sharp increase in opioid-related overdose deaths in urban areas, including the district. This trend highlights a growing public health emergency that is closely connected to the homeless population, where many individuals struggle with addiction while also facing the hardships of living on the streets. For people dealing with substance abuse, achieving stability is particularly challenging. Many landlords see tenants with addiction issues as high risk, making it extremely difficult for them to secure permanent housing. Shelters, which serve as critical safe spaces for many homeless individuals, often hesitate to accept those with substance abuse issues due to concerns about disruptive behavior. This creates a vicious cycle in which people with addiction have nowhere safe to go, which worsens their addiction and deepens their isolation. Consider the story of James, a middle-aged man who has battled heroin addiction for over a decade. James became homeless in D.C. after losing his job and apartment. For years, he moved between shelters, but he could never stay in one place for long. Whenever he sought shelter, he was often turned away because of his addiction. With no other options, he slept on the streets where his addiction worsened. The ongoing instability made it nearly impossible for him to access treatment, and without a stable home, recovery seemed out of reach. James's experience is far from unique. It reflects the reality for many individuals in D.C., where homelessness and substance abuse are deeply intertwined. Addressing this challenge requires more than simply providing a place to stay. It demands a holistic approach that combines housing with addiction treatment and mental health care. Programs offering both stable housing and access to treatment can help break the cycle, giving people like James a real opportunity to rebuild their lives. Only by tackling homelessness and substance abuse together can we provide a genuine path to recovery and long-term stability. Root causes of homelessness in D.C. Homelessness in Washington, D.C. is not a standalone problem, but the result of several interconnected factors deeply rooted in the city's social and economic fabric. One of the main drivers of homelessness is the high cost of living, especially when it comes to housing. With rents climbing and affordable housing options dwindling, many low-income residents are being priced out of the market and forced into unstable living situations. As housing costs rise, fewer people can secure permanent homes, leading to higher eviction rates and ultimately more individuals experiencing homelessness. Beyond economic pressures, systemic challenges such as insufficient mental health care and substance abuse also play a major role in the persistence of homelessness. Many people experiencing homelessness face mental health issues that make it difficult to maintain stable housing. Without access to proper mental health support and addiction treatment, individuals are left to cope on their own, struggling to regain stability. The end of COVID-era protections like eviction moratoriums and emergency rental assistance has also had a significant impact on homelessness. These temporary measures had helped keep vulnerable residents from losing their homes during the pandemic. Now that these protections are gone, many who were already close to becoming homeless have been pushed into even more precarious situations. The reduction of safety nets has contributed to a rise in homelessness, particularly among those who were barely able to afford housing before the pandemic. Addressing the root causes of homelessness in Washington, D.C. requires a comprehensive, multi-pronged approach. This includes not only expanding affordable housing, but also increasing access to mental health services and addiction treatment programs. To effectively tackle homelessness, the city must implement long-term solutions that address the intertwined challenges of poverty, mental illness, and substance abuse, creating opportunities for individuals to regain stability and rebuild their lives. Future outlook for homeless individuals in D.C. The future for homeless individuals in Washington, D.C. depends heavily on the presence and accessibility of comprehensive support systems. Without these essential services, the outlook remains bleak, as those experiencing homelessness face numerous obstacles that make it difficult to break free from poverty and instability. Access to legal aid is one key factor that can help homeless individuals achieve long-term stability. Organizations like the Washington Legal Clinic for the Homeless provide vital support by defending the rights of those facing eviction or housing discrimination. They assist clients in navigating complex legal processes, contesting unlawful evictions, and securing housing protections. For many who are unaware of their rights or cannot afford private attorneys, these services are a lifeline. By removing legal barriers, these organizations play an important role in preventing homelessness from worsening and giving individuals a fair chance at permanent housing. However, the impact of these services is limited by funding shortages and inconsistent support. Many organizations offering housing, legal, and mental health services operate with tight budgets, which restricts their ability to expand and provide ongoing care. Additionally, without a citywide comprehensive strategy for homelessness, including prevention, intervention, and long-term solutions, people often end up back on the streets. Persistent issues like limited affordable housing, inadequate mental health care, and a lack of addiction treatment continue to keep individuals trapped in instability. To make a meaningful and lasting impact, Washington, D.C. needs an approach that goes beyond short-term crisis management. This should include prevention measures such as expanding affordable housing and providing financial support for those at risk of losing their homes. Intervention efforts should combine mental health services, addiction treatment, and job training programs. Finally, offering sustainable housing solutions is essential for breaking the cycle of homelessness. Without these comprehensive measures, many homeless individuals in D.C. will continue to struggle to secure safe long-term housing. A personal perspective on homelessness. From my point of view, homelessness in Washington, D.C. is not merely the result of individual shortcomings, but a symptom of larger systemic problems that require urgent and sustained attention. The struggles faced by those experiencing homelessness are closely linked to factors like housing affordability, mental health, substance abuse, and economic inequality. While initiatives such as expanding shelter space and providing legal aid are helpful, they are not sufficient on their own. The city needs to treat homelessness not just as a temporary emergency to manage, but as a complex social issue that calls for long-term comprehensive solutions. This involves not only improving access to immediate resources, but also addressing the root causes such as the shortage of affordable housing and limited mental health services. It's important to understand that homelessness is often a cyclical issue. Without tackling systemic failures, people will continue to fall through the cracks, no matter how many shelters or temporary housing options are available. Furthermore, local communities and organizations play a crucial role in addressing this problem. Government action alone cannot solve it. Partnerships with nonprofits, local businesses, and community members are essential for creating lasting solutions. If Washington, D.C. truly wants to end homelessness, it must adopt a holistic approach that emphasizes prevention, stability, and social integration rather than temporary relief. Ultimately, solving homelessness requires a collective and compassionate effort that goes beyond providing shelter, empowering individuals to rebuild their lives with dignity and the support they need.